You see, when someone prays to the JDM car gods, there's only three that you pray to. And today, we're going to do the unthinkable. We're going to make a god bleed.
Tell me. Do you bleed?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is before you buy a Toyota Supra. You see, to be a god, you can't have any flaws. You have to be all-powerful. You have to be the embodiment of perfection. Well, the Toyota Supra is all but those things. You see, the Mark IV Supra was developed in 1993. It came in several different packages, including a naturally aspirated 2JZ GE and a twin turbocharged 2JZ GTE V6. Now, for the sake of the video, we're going to focus on the twin turbo one. Okay, now let's get the boring shit out of the way, shall we? All right, here we go. The twin turbocharged 2JZ, fuck you. The twin turbocharged 2JZ GTE produced 320 horsepower, which gave it a 0 to 60 time of 4.6 seconds. Mind you, that is like Charger SRT8 status. And this was back in the freaking 90s. In comparison to other cars of the 90s though, such as the twin-turbo all-wheel drive 3000 GT VR4, or let's say Mazda RX-7, or hell, even the Turbo 300ZX, Supra wasn't all that spectacular when it came to performance. Any of the other cars I just mentioned, technically stock for stock, would run circles around the Supra. And they would do it all for literally thousands of dollars cheaper. Sounds easy, right? Then why is the Mark IV Supra such a popular car that it's achieved godlike status? Okay, I'll give you a hint. Over engineering. You see, there's a reason why the Supra has risen to the level it has. It was built in a time when Toyota was hungry and still had a point to prove in the auto industry. The Mark IV Supra was so goddamn well engineered that the twin turbo version had a built-in G-force meter, okay? In the center of the car. Even the carpets were made of hollow polymers to save weight. Hell, the engineers of the Supra knew it could be built to pass top speeds of over 155 miles an hour, which is what it was supposed to top out at. Yes! And for that very reason, they actually included not one, but freaking dual hood latches to prevent the hood from flying off at those speeds. All of a sudden, this little Japanese sports car was in the level of higher-end Italian supercars like Ferrari. And you all know exactly what I'm talking about. But like I said at the beginning of the video, even gods bleed. You see, the Mark IV Toyota Supra isn't without its flaws. Which brings me to the part of the video you're all gonna hate me for. Let's talk about all the problems that came with the 1993 to 2002 Toyota Supra. Okay, now the Supra had some minor electrical issues, especially with the dash cluster. The EGR systems, they tend to get blocked between 100,000 and 125,000 miles, which in almost every state in the United States of America would result in a failed emissions test. On cars that aren't prepped for high amounts of boost, the heads, yes, the heads tend to warp. And the clutch and flywheel, man, don't even get me started about those. Those are ticking time bombs. But you know what? to be honest, these issues are far and few in between. It's clear I'm not a huge Supra fan. I know, I get it. All right. But one thing I walked away from this review is that it's a damn near perfect car. Seriously, I'm dead serious. This car, 20 plus years later, is still more reliable and will outperform most sports cars built today. And if you're a car enthusiast, you know that in 2017, Toyota removed itself from all driving video games. And when asked why, this was their literal response. And I quote, "We don't want potential customers to drive our cars in a virtual environment because it will take away from our sales in the real market." Well, here's a news flash for you, Toyota. Maybe if you stopped building cars like this and went back to your damn roots, people would actually buy your cars in real life instead of living out their biggest dreams in an imaginary world, in a world where cars like this are and will always be king.